What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to talk about the Naenka Runner Chic bone conduction headphones. They're comfortable, they're rubber, they're waterproof, and they last for 6 hours of battery life. So I want to talk about the build quality and some of the features right off, and then we'll get into impressions of them and where you might use headphones like these, especially if you're somebody who has not yet tried bone conduction headphones and are kind of wondering what's the deal with them. Why would I want to get those over a regular pair of headphones? Couple features right off the bat. These feature the latest Bluetooth 5.0 transmission tech. It gives you a more stable connection than older Bluetooth headphones, which is useful. They are IPX6 waterproof, something that I have hand tested myself and I'll get into a little later. They weigh under 28 grams, so they're pretty light, definitely lighter than other portable headphones I've had, with the exception, of course, of earbuds. You wear them basically by wrapping this around here and having them come up over your ear, which is what they sit on to hold them in place. They wrap around your ear nice, which is surprisingly steady for when you're running and other physical activities. And they sit right here by your temple, right in front of your ears. So bone conduction technology basically works by vibrating these tips against your skull. Actually adjoins to the nerve that your ear hears, basically bypasses the ear canal, which is the normal way you hear things. Couple of advantages for that. People who are hearing impaired, not in all cases, but the most common forms of hearing loss tend to be with the eardrums themselves. And people have reported that when they have hearing loss, the traditional way of hearing, wearing headphones like this bypass the eardrum and connect directly to that nerve, which for them allows them to hear at a decent volume again, even if ordinarily they wouldn't be able to hear with that clarity. So these kind of headphones are great for them. But what I also find useful about them is when I'm out for a run or a walk, for situational awareness reasons, it's nice to be able to hear what's going on around you. And I like that because of how this works, you can still hear the scenery around you normally through your ear canal, which is unobstructed, but you can also hear the music through these. So you kind of have both going on, which is nice. You can still somewhat hear your surroundings with, say, like the AirPods and things like that, but since they are in the ear canals, that makes a bit of a difference in terms of muffling it out that you don't get with these. Now, they do come with foam ear tips to create kind of a noise canceling experience. So if you are in a scenario where you're saying, I want to hear the music this way and I don't want the outside sounds to be audible, you can put the foam ear tips in your ear canals. That'll, like most foam ear tips do, block out around 20 to 30 decibels of sound. Really kill the environment around you a little bit so that you're mostly just hearing what the headphones are delivering. My favorite thing, this is probably the second or third pair of bone conduction headphones that I've played with. My favorite thing about all of them, the tech itself, is how well they stay on when you're running. When I very first got the AirPods from my iPhone, it doesn't happen often, but it happened once, and once is enough to scare you straight. I was in a scenario where I was jogging and the right one fell out. And luckily, I was able to find it on the ground pretty quickly. It hadn't gotten all that dirty. But definitely, as somebody who occasionally does longer runs with other people, that's a little disconcerting because you're thinking, what if it fell out of my ear and hit the pavement and then I didn't notice it fast enough and somebody running behind me stepped on it? Now it's ruined. My $100 pair of headphones, I gotta buy again. You don't have that with this. It sits very securely around the ears. There's very little wiggle when you're doing physical activities. And because of the IPX water resistance, you can swim with these. You can go in the ocean like I did at the beach recently with these with no concern. So that gives you some flexibility there. When you're done, they actually fit pretty nice around the neck like this. And actually at one point while I was at the beach recently and I went in the ocean with these on, I did just wear them around my neck. I had a bandana on under that to kind of protect my neck from the sun a little bit. But these sat pretty nicely on my neck, didn't fall off while I was splashing around in the water. I had waves coming against me, hitting me from the front, splashing, of course, all over my face and neck, so there's salt water landing all over the headphones. They were fine. When I went back down to sit in my chair under the umbrella, a little while later, slid them back on, had the music keep going. They fired up without issue and kept playing. And what's nice is because they're that degree of waterproof and not going to fall out, you could be listening to tunes while you're splashing in the water or something like that and have that consistent experience, which it can be fun. For anybody who's worn AirPods knows part of what's nice about the consistent experience is if you're sitting at your desk working and listening to music, if you want to get up and get a drink or go fold some laundry or something, the tunes come with you. That's one of the greatest things about that anywhere experience. And you can get that even more with headphones that are this portable, this waterproof. Big win there. Part of how they achieve that is making sure that there's no real openings that go into the electronic areas itself. So it does mean you have to have a proprietary charger that it comes with. It's got these two little pins here, and it's magnetized. So if you try to put it the wrong way, like magnets do, they repel, it won't want to go on. You put it the other direction, it'll snap right in. And I like that it's magnetized. I've tried headphones like this before with a similar looking proprietary plug, but it was not magnetized, and then it made charging really hard because you're trying to lay it here just right so it doesn't fall out, or you think you have it right and you come back a half an hour later and realize they fell out while you were waiting and now they're not charged. You don't have that issue with these. They snap right in magnetically, and you could just leave it sit there on the desk. This plugs into any standard USB-A port. You got plenty of those. That was enough to give me pretty much an all afternoon experience. I listened to some podcasts on these. At one point I was listening to an audiobook. I put on some tunes at one point while I was at the beach running around and stuff. I've worn these on a couple of my runs back home, and they are useful for that. And it definitely, this time of year when it's still really hot out where I am, if you're sweating a little bit, it's nice to know that these have great sweat resistance as well. If the sweat's running down the side of your head onto your temple where they're going to sit, it's not going to cause any crackle or any issues with them. I wore it around my neck, like I said, when I was getting water splashed on me. I'm sure there was sweat around my neck while I was wearing them. None of that was an issue with this waterproof design. That's really nice. It's something you might expect to see on more expensive headphones, but the fact that these retail for between $50 and $65, it's nice at that price point to still get that degree of water resistance for people shopping at that budget, so they're not in a scenario where they're saying, I've got to spend a lot more money to get this kind of protection. So I like most of the features about them. This button here controls answering calls and things like that. You press and hold it to turn it on or off. You'll be able to hear it. It'll talk through the earphones to say power on, power off, so you'll know which it is. And then you've got your volume plus and minus, so that when you're wearing these, now I do find at first that it's a little awkward to find it because I always want to reach right here, but when I do feel around, then I've got that power button and then the plus and minus that way that I can press. You'll be reaching a little further back on your head than I suspect will probably feel natural, at least for me. I always wanted to reach right here. But anyway, it's not bad once you figure out where they are, and it makes a lot of sense doing it that way. Sound quality is pretty consistent with what I found with bone conduction headphones in the past, which is to say you don't get bone conduction headphones for the best of audio clarity. You are making a trade-off there. The mids are pretty solid. The highs are okay, but they lack a lot of the detail that you'd get on more isolated headphones. And probably the weakest part of any bone conduction headphones that I've used is the bass. There's very little bass. I suspect that probably just has to do with how these kind of headphones even work. It's hard to vibrate at that low of a frequency against your occipital bone, and probably the way that it conducts through there to your nerve probably just doesn't carry those really low frequencies as efficiently with this type of design. And I have not yet tried a pair of bone conduction headphones that I thought got good bass. That's all kind of weak. The concession that you're making with this style of headphone is that you're trading some degree of audio quality and fullness, robustness in that regard for waterproof and portability. Of course, if you have hearing loss of some kind, like I said in the beginning, you'd be happy to get fairly clear sound for a decent degree of the spectrum, and you might not care that you're not getting a whole lot of bass, because if you have hearing loss, you might not hear a whole lot of bass on other types of headphones anyway. For simple things like listening to podcasts or even just YouTube videos when I go out for a run, sometimes I listen to, you don't need a lot of bass for those, and then it's fine. You're getting the mids where you need them to hear conversations and things. It sounds pretty decent. And in some controlled settings when I'm out for a run, I might use these for the portability, and it's really nice. I think at the price point, these do a good job. They don't, to me, sound that much different than significantly more expensive bone conduction headphones that I've listened to once or twice, and so there's a good value for the money here. Some of the features that I think Naenka's more expensive Runners Pro had are the ability to store music on internal memory inside the headphones, which I admit was kind of a cool feature. I was impressed to see that. It wasn't really something that I had seen before in a pair of these kind of headphones, but of course you are paying for that. Then that's one more setting that you've got to find the right button to switch between internal storage, Bluetooth, and that can get potentially annoying if you're not used to that. So one plus of these over those headphones is you're not messing around with any of that. It's just straight Bluetooth. You turn it on, it connects to your phone, done deal. There's nothing else to worry about than that. Keeps it simple. Definitely something I would recommend for somebody looking for that kind of portability, especially if you swim or you are going to the beach or you run a lot or you bike ride or you like to wear headphones when you work out and you don't want to have them slide out as things get sweaty and you don't want to worry that being sweaty is going to ruin the headphones. Those are all situations where bone conduction headphones are useful over other headphones. If you are a person who just sits at a desk most of the day and walks around the house a little bit on some menial tasks and wants wireless headphones, you may, in that case, want to opt for any type of Bluetooth headphones at that point. You're optimizing for sound quality then over the portability. That would probably sound better than these for that purpose. So like I said again, you are trading the portability for this. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you've been looking for a pair of bone conduction headphones and you're wondering at this price point what some good options are, I think these are a solid contender for the things that they're built to do. They do them well. I like that the included charging cable is small and rolls up easily, so it's easy to travel with you or shove in a pocket. It is a little bit of a bummer anytime you have a proprietary charger that's not as simple as a ubiquitous USB-C that you probably have laying around, but in this case, it's for a good reason. They have to do something like this in order to preserve the waterproof nature of the headphones. If it had a female USB-C slot, there would be no waterproof. And so in this case, I feel it's a fair trade-off. Leave your questions down below in the comments. If you liked this video, please hit like or subscribe or share with somebody that you think is looking at these kind of headphones. And otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next video.